Epic orchestral swell builds. Molten steel flows in slow motion. Sparks drift like golden fireflies. Imagine starting with absolutely nothing. No famous family name, no inherited fortune, just an insatiable hunger and a dream that seemed utterly impossible. From the smoky, grimy slums of Scotland to the shimmering, towering skylines of a burgeoning America, one extraordinary man literally built an empire out of molten fire. And then, incredibly, he gave almost all of it away. This, my friends, is the captivating saga of Andrew Carnegie, the legendary Steel King who didn't just master the art of industrial scale, but also perfected the ultimate, most impactful exit strategy in history. Music transitions into a confident rhythmic pulse, metallic, industrial. Our story begins in Dunfermline, Scotland. Picture this: cobblestone streets, the rhythmic clatter of weaving looms, and skies that always seem to be painted in shades of gray. Here, in 1835, a weaver's son named Andrew Carnegie was born into a life steeped in hardship. His family, like so many others, lived hand to mouth. Then, the Industrial Revolution roared into town, and machines began to replace skilled craftspeople. Overnight, his father's livelihood, his very craft, was rendered obsolete. The family faced ruin, staring into the abyss of poverty. At a tender age of just 12, Andrew was forced to become a man. He started working grueling 12-hour days, 6 days a week, in a noisy, lint-filled cotton factory, earning a mere $120 a week. Can you imagine that? But here's the magic. Every single night, after those back-breaking shifts, he would devour books. In those precious pages, illuminated by a flickering candle, he didn't just find stories. He saw a world brimming with possibilities beyond poverty, a world he was fiercely determined to not just reach, but to conquer. Sound of clicking Morse code over railroad ambiance. Just a year later, at 13, Andrew's journey brought him to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where he landed a job as a telegraph messenger boy. Now, this wasn't just any delivery job. As he sprinted through the city delivering messages, he wasn't just dropping off telegrams, he was soaking it all in. He memorized names, numbers, and whispered deals, learning the invisible language of wealth and influence that flowed through the wires. His sharp mind and uncanny ability to absorb information quickly caught the eye of Thomas A. Scott, a powerful rising executive at the Pennsylvania Railroad. Scott, recognizing young Andrew's potential, took him under his wing. Carnegie became his assistant, his protege, gaining an unprecedented insider's view into America's rapidly expanding industrial machine. It was there, amidst the clatter of trains and the hum of telegraph lines, that he learned a golden rule that would shape his destiny. Control the rails, and you control the future. This wasn't just about transportation. It was about power, connection, and foresight. He saw the threads that held a nation together, and he learned how to pull them. Molten metal pours, hammer hits echo in rhythm. After the devastating American Civil War, the nation was desperate to rebuild, to expand, to forge a new future. America was hungry for bridges, for miles of new railway lines, for towering skyscrapers that would touch the clouds. While others saw brick and wood, Carnegie saw what truly lay ahead: steel. He intuitively understood that steel, strong and versatile, would literally build the new world. This wasn't just a material, it was the backbone of progress. He wasn't afraid to take risks. He invested heavily in the revolutionary Bessemer process, a groundbreaking technique that dramatically slashed the cost of steel production overnight. This innovation was a game changer. By 1890, his company, Carnegie Steel, had become the pounding heartbeat of industrial America. His unwavering motto was simple, yet ruthless: cut costs, then cut them again. Every single rail that crisscrossed the nation, every majestic bridge spanning a river, every burgeoning city skyline, all bore the indelible mark of his steel. He wasn't just selling steel, he was selling the future. Tense music, shadows of workers, and smoke. But with such colossal success, often came immense sacrifice and a darker side. Carnegie's relentless, almost obsessive drive for efficiency transformed his factories into perfectly calibrated machines of precision, machines that also exerted incredible pressure on the human beings operating them. In 1892, this simmering tension boiled over into the infamous Homestead strike. Workers, demanding fair wages and dignity, clashed violently with management. Carnegie, who was away in Scotland, left his lieutenant, Henry Frick, in charge. Frick, a man even more unyielding than Carnegie, sent in armed guards to break the strike. Blood was spilled. Lives were irrevocably changed. The man who, in his earlier years, had often preached fairness and the value of labor, found himself the reluctant, detached face of ruthless capitalism. Carnegie's shocking silence during the tragedy, his physical absence and emotional distance would haunt his legacy forever. It was a stark reminder that even the most visionary leaders can be blinded by ambition and the pursuit of efficiency. Music shifts to calm power, papers shuffle, handshake echoes. By 1901, Andrew Carnegie stood at the absolute pinnacle of the industrial world, a titan among titans. And then, in a move that stunned everyone, he simply walked away. He sold his colossal empire, Carnegie Steel, to the legendary financier J.P. Morgan for an astonishing $480 million, a sum so vast it was the largest deal in human history at the time. Morgan then merged it into U.S. Steel, creating America's very first billion-dollar corporation. Carnegie's personal share of that sale, over $300 million, which, when adjusted for inflation, is roughly equivalent to a staggering $10 billion today. But for Carnegie, this wasn't about simply accumulating more wealth. His next chapter wasn't about money at all. It was about something far more profound, far more enduring. It was about meaning. He had achieved the ultimate industrial scale. Now, he was poised for the ultimate exit, peaceful piano and soft sunlight through library windows. In his retirement, Carnegie penned his most famous essay, The Gospel of Wealth. His message was crystal clear, a profound declaration that echoed through the ages. The man who dies rich dies disgraced. He genuinely believed that immense wealth came with an equally immense moral obligation. He devoted the remainder of his long life and the vast majority of his fortune to humanity, transforming from a steel baron into a global philanthropist. He meticulously planned and funded the creation of over 2,500 public libraries across the English-speaking world, believing that access to knowledge was the ultimate equalizer. He established iconic institutions like Carnegie Hall, the magnificent performing arts venue, and Carnegie Mellon University, a beacon of education and research. He poured his resources into countless foundations dedicated to fostering peace, promoting education, and advancing scientific discovery. His empire of steel had literally built America's physical infrastructure. Now, his unparalleled legacy of generosity would build its soul, brick by intellectual brick. Slow montage, steel bridges at sunrise, bustling cities, quiet libraries. Andrew Carnegie's life became a fascinating, complex paradox, a man both fiercely ruthless and incredibly generous, intensely industrial, yet deeply idealistic. He proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that true power isn't just in the act of building, creating, and accumulating. It's in the profound wisdom of knowing precisely when to let go, when to transition from a master of industry to a master of philanthropy. He forged the world's very backbone from molten fire. Then, with an almost poetic symmetry, he melted his immense fortune back into the hands of mankind, empowering countless generations. Andrew Carnegie, the undisputed steel king who not only mastered scale, but truly perfected the extraordinary art of the exit. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey through history. If you found Andrew Carnegie's story as inspiring and complex as I do, please hit that like button, Share this video with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more tales of remarkable people who shaped our world. Your support means the world to us. Music fades with distant hammer strikes turning into echoing piano keys.